Thank you for doing this. I mean, I'm very happy to talk with you. So let's go right into it. Where are you?
I am in Chicago right now. I am back filming my show, Chicago Med, which has been really interesting, filming it with all the different protocols for COVID now.
It's different experience, isn't it?
Totally different experience, and it takes a lot longer.
Yeah, even longer than usual.
Yes, even longer than usual because, when we take our masks off to shoot, we can only have them off for 10 minutes at a time. So we only have 10 minutes to do one take, and then we have to put them back on and wait. And so it's just it kind of draws out a lot.
A good thing is you started shooting again because it took some time with the regulations and even on the production side to get allowed to be back on set. So it's a good thing. Shows keep shooting. Really.
I know what you mean. I know everybody is waiting for their shows to come back. So, it's I'm so grateful to have a job right now. Times are crazy. So, so I don't mind that it's taking longer. I'm just happy to be working again.
To be working. What are your shows? I mean, the shows you're looking forward to come back on air.
Gosh, I don't know. I hope they do. I watched Normal People on Hulu.
Yeah.
And I hope they do a second season because I thought that show was awesome. What am I waiting to come back though? God, I can't think of anything. I just heard actually that they're rebooting Dexter. Do you remember?
Yeah, I read that yesterday.
Yes, and I love Michael C. Hall. 6 Feet Under is my favorite show ever, and I
love that show. Yeah,
I loved Dexter. I didn't finish the series, so I probably, now that I have all this time on my hands, could go back and do it. But I got excited to hear that they were doing that show again because I think
they said they wanted kind of a do-over to make a better ending than what they did before.
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't watch the last
Maybe
episode.
You shouldn't watch it and leave them a full chance to just
do it perfectly.
Let's talk a little bit about Divertimento, because you're here today thanks to the connection we have to the Paris Art and Movie Awards, the festival we have in Paris. And we had Divertimento, it screened twice at the festival, and it won Best International Film. And you are the lady of the film. You're the queen, literally the queen. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'm so honored to be a part of this film, and it was so cool working with Keyvan because he's so young and he's so, you just sometimes you meet these people. Everybody is in this industry because they love doing what they do, but then sometimes you meet people that are what they do. Like Keyvan is film. He loves it so much. Do you know what I mean? And so to work with someone who's that young, who has such a thirst for it and a passion, was so cool. And I did it on my break from Chicago Med, and we filmed 2 months out of the year. So for me, if I'm gonna work during the summer, I want it to be something that excites me. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm so tired by the time we wrap that I'm like, if I'm going to work again, it's got to be something really good. And there was something about his passion, and I loved the script, and I loved the shorts that he had done prior. And I was like, this kid is going to be so huge one day. Yeah, that I was like, I am going to be so excited to, when he's this huge director, to be like, oh yeah, I did one of his first shorts.
Yeah, I was one of the first person to work with him. I was there since the beginning.
Totally.
Yeah, his passion is contagious in a way.
He is. He's so passionate, and he got it all done. I was like, how did you do all this? He had, the makeup artist that was does Pedro Almodovar's movies, and we were laughing one day. We were like, he got all of us here on his own. Do you know what I mean? And we don't even know how. It's just because he was so passionate. It's like, well, yeah, of course, sure, we'll go. Let's do it. It was
at some point, I guess it was so ambitious that it attracted the good person, the stars aligned, because when you want to do something that big for a short film, the people who are going to be involved are making a choice to be there and be part of it.
Yeah.
So, so how did you Was it through your agent, through your manager? How did you end up working on that film?
Yeah, Keyvan, he reached out to my manager, and my manager was like, look, I think this is really interesting. I think you should like read it, watch his last stuff, and tell me what you think. And then also, I knew Kellan. I've met Kellan like through the grapevine, you know, just different things. And I always thought he was such a nice guy, and I've never worked with him. And obviously, I'm a huge nerd fan of Twilight. So my manager was like, and you know, Kellan, you know, involved, and I was like, really? And then I started seeing the rest of the cast, and I was like, wow, he's got like a good lineup of
It is
growing too. Everybody,
big names for sure.
Yeah. So I was like, it kind of was just a no-brainer. And then also, you know, Paris is my favorite city. So then I was like, oh, so I get to go to Paris, work with all these amazing people. And so why wouldn't I do this? So
it was a win-win, definitely.
It was a win-win, exactly. So it was a lot of fun.
So you've done a lot of TV shows, and you've done some big TV shows. And when I mean big, I mean some TV shows people are still talking about today. Some show that had a big influence on storytelling and the way I think the way we do TV today is quite influenced by The Vampire Diaries and Pretty Little Liars. What do you, at the top of your head, what do you remember of these two shows today? What do you keep from them?
You know, I keep a lot from them because I feel like there's actually 3 shows. I like Vampire Diaries, Pretty Little Liars, and One Tree Hill. I feel like those 3 shows put me in the position that I'm in today. And so I feel like completely grateful and indebted to those shows. And it's interesting to be, I feel it also gives me a point of like something to be proud of, because I feel like I'm kind of like solidified in a part of pop culture during that time period.
Yeah, that was my point. Absolutely.
To not just be a part of one, but to be a part of all those shows. Like, it's just really, really cool. And it's funny because I went into them like Pretty Little Liars. I was kind of at this point in my career where I thought to myself, you know, I've already worked on ABC Family. I've done the teen thing before. I don't know if I really want to I kind of want to do more adult shows. I don't know if I want to do this. And my manager was like, I think it's going to be something really special. You should just go to the audition. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And thank God I did, because, you know, it was just such a great experience and something I'm just really proud to have done. And when I was on Chicago Med, I got an offer to do the season finale. And normally you can't do 2 shows. Like, once you're a series regular on the show, they don't really let you do other shows. But I was a producer, and I was like, look, I know this is a big ask. Can I just have 2 days off during this episode to go do the finale? And he was like, are you kidding? That show is why, you know, your career is where it is. Like, go. And so they totally let me go do it, which I was so happy and like thankful for. So yeah, I don't know, those shows hold such a special place in my heart.
It's nice to hear you say that, because it's always good to hear people who are grateful for what the chances they had in the business. It's so hard to have a breakout and to be, like you said, to become a part of pop culture as we understand it today. So it's really, really cool. And you said something like the teen stuff. You've done it once and you kind of hesitated doing it again, but you went for it. How do you, sometimes in Hollywood, it kind of sticks to you.
Yeah.
It's like the casting directors and the town sees you in a certain way.
Right.
And how did you get out of that? How did you get out of that box? And do you feel out of that box? Yes.
I do. I feel like Chicago Med has definitely taken me out of that box, you know, getting to play this role for 6 seasons now, and it's a doctor. And, you know, I definitely feel like I've gotten out of that for sure. I think because, you know, I think it's harder, like if I would have been the main person on any of those shows, I think it's harder to kind of like get out of it. But I feel like because I was so able to just do these really great recurrings, it's like I got to come in and dabble and play, but then I was able to go do other stuff and do, little independent films and this and that. And so I just feel like my career is kind of compiled of a lot of movement. Like some people like hit one big thing that just takes them off. I feel like I've been able to take like little snippets and kind of run from here.
Do you feel your career was more going up gradually thanks to that? Yeah. So
Definitely.
it keeps you sane, maybe in a way.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's so funny because I feel like, a lot of people get into this career and they just want to they want to like explode. And for me, it's like, you have to hit it so perfectly to sustain a career when it gets big like that. Because some people will hit something really big and then you never see them again. And for me, I feel like I've just been so grateful to just keep working. That's all I wanted out of this job, was just to work consistently as an actor. And I feel like that's what I've been able to do. And I'm so grateful for that. I still get to have a life. You know what I mean? I didn't lose my life in the process. And I've just been able to work on fun projects and meet cool people. And so, what more can you really ask for?
Absolutely. Switching gears, you've been making quite a few Christmas movies. How do you like them or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
And is it fun to do? Because most of the time you shoot a Christmas film during summertime.
Yes.
So they are ready for Christmas. So you have the fake snow, you have to wear big jackets, but it's summertime.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy that? Is it something specific?
Yeah, I've done like 2 of those Christmas movies, and the last one I did, it was really funny because I had just been in Chicago where I was so cold, and we were filming for spring, so I wasn't even allowed to wear like really heavy jackets.
Okay.
And then I went to Vancouver in the summer filming Christmas, and I was so hot, and I was like, I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse, but I don't know. There's something to the reason I decided to do that Christmas movie last year was because, well, 2 reasons. I was excited because I could learn how to play cello because I already play violin. And so I was like, oh, I could do cello. Like, this is fun. It'll be something new. And like I said, like on my break from Chicago Med, sometimes it's nice to just play something different.
Completely different.
Light. You know what I mean? Like this was like really light. And I feel like the content on my show can get so heavy that I was like, oh, nice, just change it up with something light, do a little Christmas, and then, and then go to Paris and sob the whole time again.
It's really cool. It's because these kind of films, they are very popular.
Yeah.
I mean, Hallmark has like, I don't know how many dozens of Christmas movie every year. Lifetime does kind of the same. It's part of the, I'm French, so for me, it's kind of new. And it's part of the American culture. I mean, all these Christmas movies, what's happening? Where does it come from? It's a whole genre here.
I know. And that's the thing too. It's like, it's another one of those things where it's like, it's such a novelty and I'm like really honored to be a part of it. You know what I mean? It's like its own culture, really, so.
Do you think you're going to make another one someday?
Maybe. You never know. And especially, I got to be honest with you, with this whole COVID thing happening right now, it's really kind of put me in this perspective of I'm just grateful to be working. And if it's something that sounds fun to me, I probably won't say no to it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like life is so short that it's like, let's have fun, like, do something I love. You know what I mean? So you never know, maybe.
You have table reads when you work on a show, I'm sure. And reading the material we have, making movies, making shows, all comes from the script. I always felt a very special connection between actors and the written material.
Yeah.
You can have the same script and give it to 5 different actors. You're going to have 5 different readings.
Totally.
They are not even performing yet, but they are going to give it a pace. They're going to give it an intention that's going to be so different from one another. Which brings me to the next question. Do you still audition sometime, and how does it go, and how do you approach this process?
Yeah, I haven't auditioned in a long time because I haven't had time with being on the show, and there hasn't been like a lot of stuff to line up. I've done a couple auditions on tape since being on Chicago Med, but that's one of the things that makes me so nervous. Like once the show is over, going back to auditioning, because I'm not a good auditioner at all.
You
I
know?
get so nervous. I like get like shakes. I'm like, oh, I hate it so much. I'm so bad at it. It's amazing that I work at all because my auditioning skills are so bad. But so that's something that I'm like, okay, that's going to be like a new process. You know what I mean? Getting off the show. Luckily now at this point, there are some things that come in, you know, that'll be like offers, which is really nice, but you know, still got to audition.
Cool. How did you audition for Divertimento, or did you not maybe audition, but did you send any material? Did you receive a scene? Did you tape anything?
I did not. That came in as a straight offer, which was really cool, and I was really grateful for. So no, I did not audition.
Did you have some rehearsal for that film?
Did I what?
Rehearse, like working in
When
advance?
we got there, I mean, when we got there, we did some rehearsals and stuff, but not really. I mean, I just did my own kind of process on my own of, you know, breaking down the script and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
You've been active with short films quite a bit. I mean, you have big credits. You have these beach shows. You have Chicago. You have the Vampire Diaries and everything. But you've also been producing short films yourself.
Yeah.
What draws you to this format?
You know, I think there's something too with my schedule when it gets crazy. Sometimes it's nice to do a short film to sit in there. And I think that like if a short film is done well, it could be really interesting. Do you know what I mean? And there's so many ways to do it and shoot it now. You know what I mean? Like shooting is so kind of accessible now more than it has been before. So that's what kind of draws me to that.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about Saving Daisy?
Oh yeah, so we're still in production for that. Saving Daisy. So back, I would say maybe four or 5 years ago, I watched this documentary on Netflix called Audrey and Daisy, and it was about these sexual assault survivors, these young teens. And I was so moved by the documentary that I looked up the girls in the film, and I saw that they had all created a organization called Safe Bay together. And I reached out to my publicist, and I was like, "You have to get me in touch with these girls. Like, I have to work with them. They're incredible." And so we did, and I got in touch with them, and I'm now on the board of directors of Safe Bay, and I get to go and talk to kids about sexual assault and sexual consent and all this stuff. And so, anyways, because you know that movie happened. And Daisy especially became this, you know, kind of beacon of hope, beacon of light for all these other young survivors. But she was still going through her own process of healing too. The movie kind of made it look like, okay, the film's done. She's all healed. She's great. Like, let's move on. And it's like, well, no, I mean, the film was so beautiful, but it was still like, you know, she still had a lot of healing to do. And, you know, and she felt like she owed it to the followers that she was gaining to really heal herself. So her best friend Ella, who's also a sexual survivor, assault survivor, who is in the first film as well, she had been doing EMDR therapy, and she suggested to Daisy that she do it too. And then her and Daisy decided that they wanted to make a documentary out of it to show people that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And so Ella reached out to me about it, and so I jumped on board, and you know, we were filming it, and you know, everything. It's really, we have a lot of really great footage, and Daisy was doing so well. Unfortunately, she passed away this summer. So we're still going to continue on with the documentary. It's just going to have a bit of a different ending, but we know that she would want us to still tell her story. So we're kind of just reconfiguring everything right now.
So now you kind of owe it to her to complete that project and to show it to the world.
Absolutely.
So it's a documentary, that's it?
Yes, it's going to be a documentary.
It's a documentary film. Do you know how long it's going to be? Is it going to be like 15 minutes?
Well, we were thinking short, and now we're almost thinking it might be full length. So we'll see. But yeah, we're kind of gearing towards maybe like making it a full feature now because we have so much footage and stuff. So
Divertimento was a short film, and still 29 minutes. It's a long short film, but still it's a short format. I've been talking with Kellan Lutz already, and with Keyvan, of course, and they explained to me a little bit how it went on set and how they managed and how Keyvan managed to pull that off. Is there something that you remember from that set that kind of pops to your mind, something that made that film and the way you all made it different from anything else you've been working on?
Yeah, it felt like, normally when you do a film, it's like, okay, you're coming in at this time because we're going to film this scene. And it was kind of like Kellan and I were there all day, every day, just kind of, okay, well, now we're going to use you. Okay, now we're not. Okay, now we're going to use you. It was kind of just like, woo, like off the cuff, which was really fun and exciting. I'll never forget, though, one of the funniest moments for me was I started that film on the day of my birthday. And I normally never film on my birthday because filming is a lot like in the fall and stuff. And so it was in June. And I was hoping nobody knew because I was like, I don't want a big deal out of it. But so I do a lot of running in the film. And for the most part, I'm wearing that dress and I'm wearing high heels.
Yes, you do.
When you didn't see my feet, I had to put on regular tennis shoes because it was just so dangerous to run up and down those stairs in high heels. I almost fell down the stairs at one point. I was like, oh my God. But, and especially running in the grass, like the heel would get stuck. And I was like, oh. So Keyvan came in and he was like, come on, we need to use you. We gotta go. And I was like, okay, do I need my shoes? He's like, no, baskets, fine, baskets. I was like, what? He's like, let's go, baskets. And me and Kellan's wife were looking at each other. We're like, what the heck does baskets mean? What is he talking about right now? So then I came out and he had a cake and a surprise for my birthday. So we weren't actually filming. And then I learned that baskets was how he was saying shoes.
That's how, in French, that's how you say tennis shoes.
Yes. And I was like, Keyvan, what does baskets mean? Where's a basket? I don't know where a basket is.
And for you, a basket is like a
basket. I was like, what? And he's like, baskets is fine. Let's go. Your baskets. Let's go. I was like, what? And Brittany, Kellan's wife, and I were crying. We were laughing so hard because we did not know what was going on. So that was fun. There was a lot of fun little moments like that, which is good because the content of the movie is really heavy. So there was a lot of crying and so it was nice to have some of those funny moments.
Yeah, I got you. Where are you from? Where were you born?
I was born in New York.
Okay, so are you a typical New York girl, city girl? No.
I am not a city girl. I mean, I love the city. I love being able to tap into a city, but mostly for me, I need to be around nature. And I just bought a farm in Michigan, actually. So I love I feel like living in like the countryside in London or France would be like my dream.
Final word, Chicago Med. Do you think you're going to be in that show long time? Or do you already have something else in mind, the next step or the next project?
I have no idea. It's such a hard thing to even think about because I love this role so much. I love my castmates. I love our crew. I love being in Chicago. Like I said, I just bought a farm in Michigan, so it's a 2-hour drive for me here. My family lives in Michigan. My dad lives in New York. My other sister lives in Pennsylvania. So I feel like I'm so close to my family here. So there's so many pros. And also I think that, COVID has kind of made me really appreciate even more the consistency of this job. Do you know what I mean? And so there's a part of me that, especially like COVID kind of made me go, okay, I think I'll just stay here as long as they'll have me. You know what I mean?
It's totally understandable. And if you like the show, if you like the people you're working with, I mean, it's as long as your job makes you happy and fulfills some part of your life in any way, you just gotta take it. It's good to be in this mindset.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know, just, I guess I'll have to just take it year by year, but I could see myself being here a little bit longer.
Thank you for taking the time. It's really cool.
No worries. It's easy to do.
I really appreciate it. Have a very nice rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.